Alright, hello Epig. Today I'll be reading the entirety of the HL Constitution. I can't read Greek, so I'm gonna skip that part. The Constitution of the Hellenic League. 1. Rules. A. Offenses. Griefing, scamming, stealing outside of missions, or FP robbing. Shield managing, driving or attacking its members, allies, or neutrals. Impersonation of people or clans. Ignoring legitimate battle orders from a higher ranked commander during battle. Knowingly or willingly helping prescribed people. Knowingly and willingly lying or deceiving the assembly or any person or slash group it has delegated power to. Bribing or blackmailing the assembly or any person slash group it has delegated power to. Purposely and maliciously destroying, obstructing, or altering evidence of a crime. Purposely and illegally restricting the constitutional rights of any HL member. Breaching any applicable agreement or law. Sorry there. B. Courts. Offense Offenses may only be tried if one of the parties involved in the offense was at the time or presently is a member of Hellenic League. Does not apply to helping prescribed people. The magisterial court's jury is formed by the magistrates. The senatorial court's jury is formed by the Senate. The High Court's jury is formed by the Assembly. People that have a stake in a case, they are victim or plaintiff, are excluded from being a member of the court that will judge a specific case. If no courts exist which has a sufficient number of judges, defined as one from what the fuck is this wording? Epig, fuck you. Defined as one for magistrates court, 66% of senators for senatorial court, or 50% of members for high court, without a stake, it shall be tried in a higher court if it is magistrates court. If it is senatorial or high court, then people with stake can be part of it. C. Charging and case opening process. Courts will hear either criminal offenses committed or political matters or of dispute over the Constitution and implementation of the powers granted by it. I gotta drink some water. All trials must be conducted under the laws which existed at the time of the offense. The rules that govern how a trial will operate are the rules of trial operation at the time the case is open. Don't care about your Greek. When a case is to be opened, a report ticket should be filed by the prosecution. The defense team will then have up to 24 hours to collect their evidence packages before the trial starts. There is an automatic right to appeal any case decided by a magistrate's court to a senatorial court, and the case will only be heard if 5 or more senators agree that the senatorial court should hear the case. An appeal may be lodged with the magistrate's court in the event more evidence or evidence of perversion of the course of justice is presented to the court, and at least 2 members of the judicial committee agree the evidence is of significant enough nature to warrant a retrial. Any case heard under a previous incarnation of the judicial system may be appealed regardless if new evidence exists should at least 2 members of the judicial committee or 5 senators agree that the previous system had significant unfair influence on the verdict and or sentence. Sentences may be appealed to the senatorial court should at least 2 senators agree that the sentence was not appropriate. D. Trial process. In cases where the resolution fine is less than or equal to 2,500 flux, one of the magistrates may volunteer as the judge for a case, who then describes the verdict. Otherwise, a jury consisting of all current senators is used. This would be really unfortunate if my voice wasn't picking up. A trial begins with the prosecution presenting charges. If the case is about a political matter, then reversal is the penalty by default. The prosecution then sends their full evidence package, followed by the defense. Any evidence not presented at the time may not be used during the trial unless a vote passes by the jury. The prosecution defense teams then get a chance to contest each other's evidence and claims. Once both sides are satisfied, or a 12-hour period has elapsed, they will each send a statement. The jurors or judge then get to question parts of both sides' statements. If either side's statement is not currently being questioned by a juror, they are dismissed. Once all members of the jury or the judge are satisfied, or a 24-hour period has elapsed, both sides will be dismissed. The judge or jury will return one of the following verdicts: not guilty or guilty. If either cannot be reached, a verdict of hung jury should be returned. In the event of a non-guilty verdict, no further actions can be taken against the defense, and all actions of the defense are officially deemed legitimate. This can only change in the event of an appeal changing the verdict. In the event of a hung jury, the trial shall repeat in a higher court. The evidence packages and narratives of events will be reused. If there is a hung jury in the assembly, the verdicts shall default to non-guilty. In the event of a non-guilty verdict, no further action can be taken against the defense, and all actions of the verdict are officially deemed legitimate. This can only change in the event of an appeal changing the verdict. Should both the defendant and plaintiff agree to settle on an offense out of court, the corresponding case may not be appealed or brought to court. All members of the defense and prosecution must agree to an out-of-court settlement. If the plaintiff, what the fuck did I just do? Oh, okay. Uh, I messed something up, but it's fine. Wait, do I have editing terms? I don't know. If the plaintiff, I don't think I should read this, so I think this got scrapped. E. Sentencing. A fine may be levied on an individual. The beneficiary of the fine must be detailed in the sentencing. The beneficiary has the right to nullify any fine which they are due to receive payment from. A fine may not be levied in a political case. Reversal. Of all actions may be issued as a sentence. This requires that any actions undertaken which the court has found to be illegitimate must be reversed and returned to its original state. In the event proof of refusal to accept a fine and/or reversal of, or the elapsing of 1 week with no attempt to contact or issue further appear, a person may be prescribed. Prescribed individuals/groups will have their balances frozen and will be under indefinite embargo and kill-on-sight order. Any offenses may be committed against prescribed individuals with total immunity from prosecution. A list of all prescribed individuals must be publicly available. Don't know what happened here. It's probably just ligma or something. Oh. Offenses may be committed against someone if they have committed an offense and you believe they would be convicted for it. If the person believed to be committing the offense is found innocent in a trial, then any people who committed offenses against them would be liable for damages caused, as well as a fine of up to half of how much was taken. Holy shit, we're only on clan structure. It's all bad. 2. Clan structure. Elections. Elections are held on the 1st and 15th of every month. Nominations start at 0000 UTC on the preceding day, and voting starts at 0000 UTC on the day of the elections, with the results declared at 0 UTC the following day. The first 24 hours from the election start time allows any eligible candidates to present their self-nominations. Voting lasts 24 hours. If there's a tie in the election, a runoff shall happen to resolve it. If an Archon or Senate resigns from their position more than 5 days from the start of the next election, an additional election shall take place to fill their position. I don't know what I did here. I think I messed something up, whatever. In the event of vote fraud, all votes cast by the perpetrator shall be ignored, and the perpetrator demoted to recruit. All members can vote in elections. Campaign promises presented in elections by winning candidates are legally binding, unless the assembly later votes against the implementation. To be a candidate in an election, a non-refundable payment of no less than 80 flux per position the individual wishes to be a candidate in must be issued to distribution. B. Votes. All citizens can start a vote in the assembly. All members can start a vote in the assembly. All members of the Senate can start a vote in the Senate. All members of the Senate can vote in the Senate. Voting will last a minimum of 24 hours from the vote first being posted. The creator of the vote may prolong the voting timer only once by an addition of another 24 hours if less than 40% of citizens have participated in it. The vote can end early if voting from all who are yet to vote can't alter the final result. If the vote is at a draw by the time it has concluded, the status quo shall be maintained. In the event of vote fraud, all votes cast by the perpetrator shall be ignored. A vote can override any decree. No vote can be retroactive. A vote to remove an Archon, Senator, Officer, or Secretary of State can be initiated in the Assembly with a clearly stated reason. A vote challenging a decree pauses the implementation of that decree for the duration of the vote. A minimum of 3 senators must proofread any proposed vote. The proofreaders can be selected by the person proposing the vote. Any senator who is not Any senator who is not an Archon may refuse to proofread the vote. The suggestions of the proofreaders are non-binding. When the vote is started, the names of all proofreaders must be listed. All suggestions which were presented by the proofreaders which were not implemented must be disclosed in the vote message. C. Hellenes. Members of Hellenic clan are entitled to membership of HL. An attack of an HL of a An attack on a member of HL using proper HL tags is an attack on all HL members in Hellenes. A declaration of war on a Hellene or HL is a declaration of war on all Hellenes and HL unless otherwise specified by the ward party. Applying Hellenes need to be approved in a majority vote by the assembly. When HL is at war with any clans, all Hellenes must treat each other as allies. When HL is at peace with all clans, Hellenes are free to choose relations with each other. Linguini. In order Linguini. In order for the Hellenic League to declare war, the Assembly must pass a vote to war. 3. Institutions. Assembly. The Assembly is a body consisting of all members of the clan. This institution elects senators and archons. Votes are also conducted in the Assembly. A vote conducted in the Assembly can only be overruled by a later vote by the Assembly. All powers are the exclusive reserve of the Assembly unless otherwise delegated. The Assembly can never remove its right to exercise any powers. It may only grant permission for others to exercise them on its behalf. B. Senate. The Senate is a body consisting of all senators and secretaries of state. The institution can conduct votes which can overrule decrees, but be overruled by the Assembly. The Senate will also be available to advise individuals and institutions, both above and below, on any matters they feel qualified to do so. The Senate will also be available to produce reports on any topic for which they are qualified. The Senate can only decide matters with a two-thirds majority in either direction, unless otherwise explicitly specified. If a majority in either direction can be reached, the matter shall be delegated to the Assembly for settling. C. Constitution. The Constitution is a document that records the current status of all rules in the clan. No one individual document is the true Constitution, as anyone can make their own copy and it would hold as much legal force as any other copy should it display with 100% accuracy the will of the Assembly and those whom it has delegated power to. Any modifications to the document must be recorded in a publicly accessible way to enable all copies to retain full accuracy. Any individual may edit the Constitution in such a way that improves readability and accessibility without changing the meaning of any part of the document. Examples can include, but are not limited to, making the documents more concise, adding additional punctuation, fixing spelling mistakes, or adding summaries and footnotes. This is EPIG's favorite part. 4. Distribution. A. Distribution systems. Payments are made to people that help and are proportional to the profit produced. Every day, all the profits will be divvied up and paid out as balance adjustments in the materials produced. Balances can be used to buy ships, materials, or withdrawn at any reasonable time. People who are a threat to HL will have their balance frozen. Threat is defined by clan status these people are in as being at war with the Hellenic League, or being prescribed. Distribution activities which produce profit must be logged. Designers will get a total 5% share of all profits made by distribution selling their designs. In the event that distribution's total balance of an item exceeds its stock, the system will automatically sell all proportionate amount from all balances to bring it to a reasonable level for distribution operations. 5. Distribution fleet. Members of the military can be given access to ships on a case-by-case basis. The commander who uses or orders use of a ship is responsible for updating the spreadsheet. A person that donates a ship to the fleet is able to select an appropriate name for it. If a commander orders a battle ignoring factors, the commander shall repair and refill all ships. All loot made by the distribution fleet is the property of distribution. When a ship is decommissioned, it will be returned to the donator, refitted, or scrapped. People may lease distribution fleet ships in exchange for freezing an amount of flux from their balance, which holds the same value as the ship they intend to lease. They can reclaim this flux in full when the ship is returned in pristine condition. If the ship is not returned in pristine condition, the frozen... I think it's supposed to be common there. The frozen flux will be used to fund repairs/replacement. 5. Ranks. 8. A. Political ranks. The rank of recruit gives only limited voting powers to those which hold it. This is the lowest rank of the clan, and the rank that members of clans have the right to have. The rank of a citizen gives full membership to the assembly to all that hold it. Recruits can be promoted to citizen. Only citizens can be officer, senator, ministry, and or secretary as parallel ranks. The rank of officer is given to those entrusted to perform specific roles within a department. In most cases, this work is paid. Officers of a department are selected by secretaries of state of the department. The rank of senator grants all that hold its membership of the Senate. This position is elected. The candidate must be a citizen to be able to stand and hold this position. Wait. To be able to stand and hold this position, the number of senators is set at 15% of the current citizen count, rounded to the nearest whole number. The rank of minister has the powers granted to a single secretary in their department other than the power to remove a minister of the situations where both secretaries are needed. The rank of Secretary of State gives powers to appoint a minister of the wait to appoint a minister to their department with both secretaries' agreement, and being able to remove any minister from their department. Elections for secretaries of state follow the normal procedures. The number of secretaries of state per department is set at 2, and any other may hold a maximum of 2 different secretary positions. A person must hold a rank above to be considered a member of HL. Any person can resign a rank. Archons are the administrative secretaries. Archons have the job of administrating and delivering the results of votes in elections. In their absence, any citizen can do it. Magistrates are the secretaries of law. If they are a member of a jury are removed from power, they still have power over cases they reside in. Demarchos are the secretaries of internal affairs and have the power to accept applicants into the clan as recruits, and the power to remove recruits from the clan. With agreement of both secretaries, a recruit can be promoted to citizen, or a citizen be demoted to recruit if the citizen is not an officer, senator, ministry, and or secretary. Department of the Exterior ranks. Admirals are the secretaries of war and have the supreme power to issue orders in battles which last for the duration of the current fight, to attack and destroy any ship that's out if they are negatively interfering with the battle, pose a risk to HL, or are prescribed, as well as to issue orders to friendly ships to go to different coordinates and zones. The formation or dissolution of a unit requires the approval of both admirals or senate to pass a vote in favor. An admiral may not serve as the commander or of any divisions for the duration of their term in office. They retain the rank of commander for their terms and for the first term of their replacement as admiral. With the agreement of both admirals or a senatorial vote, the normal rules for demotion within units and subunits may be overridden in extreme cases, including remove commanders from their unit. In the event a replacement commander is needed for a unit, it shall be the responsibility of the captains to form a council and agree unanimously on candidates to present to the admirals or the Senate for approval. If the event of the specific commander or captain for a unit or subunit being absent, the most senior officer present will take command of any such unorganized units/subunits until the relevant commander/captain arrives. Commander is the upper officer rank for the military. They are qualified to command battles or other military situations. They can promote/demote people under their command to/from captain with approval from a majority of their current captains as well as either one admiral or 2 other commanders. They can promote/demote people under their command to/from corporal, as well as dismiss unranked pilots. Commanders are responsible for running their unit and may be held responsible for the actions of their subordinates. The most number of subunits which can be within a single unit is 4. This leads to each unit having a maximum of 1 commander, 3 captains, and 9 corporals, and 3 unranked pilots for a total of 16 members. Additionally, each division may choose a single character from either the Latin, Cyrillic, or Greek alphabets to represent them. This is not a substitute for a tag, but rather a way of identifying which ships are under which division. Captain is the lowest military officer rank. They are qualified for piloting key battleships as well as commanding combat, where they are the highest ranking officer present. They can promote/demote people under their command to/from corporal with approval from their commander. They may also accept/discharge unranked pilots in/out of their subunit. Captains command a subunit within a larger unit. They may be held responsible for the actions of the subordinates. The most members a subunit can have is one captain, three corporals, and one unranked pilot in the process of being trained to rank level. Corporal is a pilot qualified for piloting ships in battle. Membership of a subunit, and therefore a unit, is required to retain the rank of corporal. An unranked military pilot should not drive ships in battle unless directly ordered to do so in emergency. This may be a member of subunit, and therefore a unit, so they can gain training. Distribution Department ranks. Chancellors are the Secretaries of State for the economy and have the power to modify item prices, approve requests for new distribution ships, and to appoint new officers of Treasury, missions, materials, and construction. If any officers do not meet their assigned quotas, a Chancellor has the right to remove them. Fleet managers conduct refilling, repairing, and unloading of ships in the distribution fleet. Due to the transportation requirements, they must hold at minimum the military position of corporal. Officers of construction claims orders from the orders to claim list and complete them. Claim orders from the orders to claim list and complete them. Okay. Officers of material borrow farmers from the distribution fleet for the purpose of filling them and then being logged. They shall repair any damage incurred to the ship they have borrowed. They must hold at minimum the military position of corporal. Officers of missions borrow mission ships from the distribution fleet for the purpose of filling them and them being logged. They shall repair any damage incurred to the ships they have borrowed. They must hold at minimum the military position of corporal. Officers of the Treasury would serve the role of handling withdrawals/deposits under the value of 2.5k flux at all times when possible. They would be required to maintain a minimum of 5k flux value in their balances at all time to ensure against any attempts of scamming. The end.